Who else could it be but Dan McGee? It's in for Dan! Danny McGee!
Oh, keep going. Keep going. All right, that's enough. You're setting yourself up for a huge disappointment. No, I'm just kidding. I feel good, man. It feels good to be back. I just celebrated a birthday. Thank you. Somebody over here is very excited that I haven't died yet. Thank you. Me too, by the way. Or was that your weird way of congratulating my parents for having sex? Because if that's the case, ew. I think saying happy birthday is weird. I do. It's kind of like saying, hey, man, good job on being born. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. I had very little to do with it, actually. And my actual birthday, or B-day as I like to call it, was very traumatic. I mean, I was in there. I was warm. I had plenty to eat. And all of a sudden, kerploosh, I'm being flushed out like a dead goldfish. You know, I come out into this very bright room, and there's a guy in a mask. He starts slapping me. That's a great way to start off life. Child abuse. I was going to call social services on the guy, but I couldn't open my eyes yet. And then he started cutting things. Cut my umbilical cord. I was like, dude, I was eating that. And don't even get me started on the circumcision. I mean, I'm glad he did it. I just wish I had a little say about the style. I'd have been like, hey man, just a little off the top. So, see how far I put my hand out there? My wife's laughing the hardest, so. But no, birthdays got better after that. I remember when I turned 1, that was a good day, because you have that big party, right? And you get that individual little cake that you get to smush all over the place. You don't get in any trouble. Everybody thinks it's really cute. Try doing that when you turn 41. The waiter at the Cracker Barrel will not think it's cute. In fact, he will take the cake away. I was like, dude, I was eating that. So 13's a good birthday. 13's good because now you're a teenager and now you know everything. I know this because my daughter just turned 13 and every time I tell her something, she goes, I know. Honey, you have to go clean your room. I know. Honey, we have to leave in 10 minutes. I know. Honey, when you were a kid, your mother dropped you on your head. I know. What? So. Now, 16 was my favorite birthday because I got a car and subsequently lost my virginity. Just so you guys know, this show is being recorded, so in case my daughter happens to see this, I just want to let her know, honey, that was a joke. I did not lose my virginity when I was 16. In fact, I'm still a virgin. I'll explain all of this to you when you're 41. Just go ask your mother. So, I think the birthday celebration is weird too, because you're celebrating your life, but with something that could ultimately kill you. The birthday cake, right? I mean, think about it. They roll out this big pile of just fat and sugar, they stuff in your face. You can choke on it. If that's not dangerous enough, they light it on fire. Happy birthday, call 911! So things are good, man. I feel good. Share something with you. I haven't had a drink in almost 8 years. I am so thirsty. And when I tell people that I don't drink alcohol, they always say the same thing. You mean you don't drink at all? No. You mean not even just one? I'm not sure why my impression of that person sounds like SpongeBob. But I say, man, no, not even just one, because for me, 1 leads to 2, and 2 leads to 12, and 12 leads to really low self-esteem, which usually leads to ugly girls. named Bertha, who lives in a trailer park in Lithia Springs. She's addicted to meth, so. But I did, man. I loved drinking, loved it. And it loved me, it did. In fact, I used to get Valentine's Day cards from Jack Daniels himself. Oh, sweet, sweet Jack. But I didn't think I had a problem, man. I didn't. I thought I was really dehydrated. Listen, contestants on the show Survivor in the Sahara Desert aren't that thirsty. But I had to quit. I had to quit drinking. It turned out I was allergic to alcohol. Yeah. I would have just one keg of beer. I would throw up. Get really dizzy and fall down. Wake up in handcuffs. Very bizarre. So, no, I didn't get arrested a lot. I was detained a few times. I remember my last night of drinking, sort of. I go out to this bar and I ordered 6 beers and 6 shots. I was like, line them up. You ever have one of those days? And I'm power drinking, baby. Beer shot, all the way down. Bartender looked at me and says, damn, I have never seen anybody drink like that. I said, well, you drink like this too if you had what I have. He said, what do you have? I said, about $1.50. Did you know that they can call the police if you can't pay your bill? Me neither. Weird. So the cops come. He wants to give me a field sobriety test. Now listen, I was never much of a student, but this is one test I'd been studying for. And I'm doing great too, man. Fingers on the nose, no problem. Walking the straight line, ish. But then he got tricky. He asked me if I knew my ABCs. I said, yeah, just not in alphabetical order. Q, L, 7. I was detained. But man, as much as I love drinking, I love the pot even more. Oh, the weed, the smoke, the dank. What do you think they call it, bud? It's your friend. I think they should name drugs for the way they make you feel. Like, cocaine would be called, woo! More! And ecstasy would be called, well, ecstasy. And pot would just be called, huh? I mean, I smoked so much of that stuff, I started to forget things. And I don't mean like where I left my keys. I mean things like I was married. Or I had to go to work every day. You know, the little stuff. And that pot, man, it made me do a lot of crazy things too, a lot of stupid things. I got stopped, I was driving in the HOV lane one time, I was by myself. Cop pulls me over, he says, son, do you know what HOV stands for? That's how they talk. I said, huh? He said, high occupancy vehicle. I said, officer, the occupant of this vehicle is high, man. I was detained. So it was suggested to me that I get sober by some friends and some family and one really uptight judge. I even had one guy suggest that I become reborn. I said, okay, but there's no way in hell I'm going through another circumcision. Just a little off the top. So I started going to these meetings, and I can't tell you the name of the program because it's anonymous. I'm not quite sure why they call it anonymous, because the first thing you do is you tell everybody your name. And in case anybody missed it, they all repeat it back to you. Hi, I'm Dan. I'm an alcoholic. Hi, Dan! Hey, Your Honor. You know, I thought anonymous meant we were going to get code names. Hi, I'm Professor Greenbean. I'm an alcoholic. Hi, Professor Greenbean! A couple of you got the Richie Rich reference. Yeah. I had another code name in mind, but Lindsay Lohan was already taken. So, Lindsay Lohan was already taken. Lindsay Lohan was already taken! What are you, sleeping? I'm sorry, what? I did learn a lot of things. Listen, it's short-term and long-term memory loss from that stuff, so. I learned a lot of things from the meeting. First, I learned it's very easy to stay sober at the meeting because they, in fact, don't serve booze at the meeting. Very disappointed on my first day. But, you know, you go and you learn to be honest and take responsibility for your actions and blah, blah. I always hate it when I hear somebody say, well, I had to quit drinking. I lost my house. Or I had to quit drinking. I lost my wife. I didn't lose a house. You didn't lose your house. Somebody else is just in it that can afford to pay the mortgage. Oh, I had to quit drinking. I lost my wife. Nope, somebody else is just in it who can afford to pay the mortgage. So, guys, my name's Dan McGee. I had a lot of fun tonight. Thanks for having me.
Danny McGee, let's hear it for him.